Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, hands-on learning at Norfolk Technical Center, NPS students get active at the Little Feet Meet, and bus drivers show off their skills behind the wheel at the bus rodeo. Plus, NPS Sports with Steve Sutmiller, and we'll talk about how our special needs students are getting on-the-job training. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. From working on race cars to building a hovercraft, there's always something exciting going on at NTC. Amanda Verrata has the story.
Students at the Norfolk Technical Center in the Automotive Technology and Engineering classes don't sit behind desks. In fact, their classrooms don't even have desks. Everything they do is hands-on with real-world applications. A great example of this is the two drag race cars that students in the automotive technology class are currently working on. Because their teacher regularly races at the Langley Motor Speedway, the cars require constant maintenance, which gives students some great experience.
It was my idea. I just think that I don't want to tie their hands, and I get them involved in some of everything. So with me being a racer, it's a prime opportunity to let them work on a race car. If they can't work on something of mine, I can't expect them to work on the customers. So they are really enthused about working on the race vehicles that I bring in here, some of my friends' cars. So it's just a great opportunity for them to just learn different things.
In addition to the race cars, students also work on a variety of other vehicles, and that keeps them excited about coming to class every day.
Well, it's something I've always liked to do. You know, it's always fun, it's always exciting, always getting to work on them and test them out, start them up, listen to them roar. It's just something that grew as a young boy and just grew since then. And being able to go into a shop class and do some hands-on work on them is just really makes the excitement a whole lot more.
Just across the hall, students in the engineering technology class are preparing for another robotics competition by working on the robot itself, along with the obstacles needed for practice.
I'm working on the Mate ROV. It's basically an underwater robot. It does different tasks, completes different things, and it's a competition. So, and the competition is May the 2nd, and we're just trying to finish it before then. It's really great. I'm telling you, it's actually amazing. Building stuff and letting it do whatever, it's great.
Among the other projects the students are working on are a battery-powered car and a hovercraft that can hold up to 3 people. Throughout the year, students work on a variety of projects, which keeps them interested and helps them learn more about engineering.
Kids kind of actually choose what they're going to be doing and what fields of engineering they study. So this is more of a capstone from what they're doing in the high schools. Instead of making popsicle stick bridges and stuff, we actually make real-world products.
Did not have a lot of experience coming into this class, but leaving it, I've learned so much, and I feel like I've prepared for going into the future and different things like that. You really feel like you're learning something, and this is something you can apply later in your life, and it's just more my speed. I get to actually learn things that I'm interested in.
Old Dominion University, in partnership with Norfolk Public Schools, hosted their 6th annual Little Feet Meet at Foreman Field. Over 300 NPS students from 13 elementary, middle, and high schools participated in stations including relay races, football, and bowling. Among the volunteers for the event were members of ODU's football team, various organizations on ODU's campus, and the SB Ballard Construction Company.
Oh, it's very important. It's something that every child looks forward to. The community comes together. It's such a wonderful connection of what truly a community should be. We have the school, we have our populations, we have kids with disabilities, general kids, and we have just people pouring into other people, showing their value and worth in society. The faces are just all smiles. It's unbelievable how the kids respond and how the community comes in and just has a great time with these children, and it's a life event.
The faculty and staff at Norview High School recognized the school's brightest students at their annual honors recognition ceremony in April. High-achieving students were given awards in a variety of subjects, and all honor roll students were acknowledged. The valedictorian and salutatorian were also named during the ceremony, and both were appreciative of their time spent at Norview High School.
Norview High School has done a lot. It has allowed me to be in its Leadership Center for the Sciences and Engineering. It's a program that teaches students about leadership and presents to us engineering opportunities. It's very helpful. It's also allowed me to attend pre-college academies at ODU and Lynchburg Governor's School. It's given me chances to see engineering and think about where I want to go in college.
Just giving me different opportunities, especially like that engineering technology award, giving me the opportunity to be a part of like robotics clubs, things that other schools don't have. Norview has. They give you various opportunities, and they continue to push you to be the best person you can be.
Booker T. Washington High School hosted an AVID Career Fair in their media center in late April. AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individualized Determination, is a college preparatory program for students that need support in writing, organizing, and reading. Lake Taylor Middle School students who are part of their school's AVID Club were in attendance as well.
Today we have an AVID College and Career Showcase, and it's an opportunity for the students of Booker T to do some research on the careers that they want to enter into, and also research the colleges that they would like to attend. In doing so, it will give them a head start, because many of these children are in the 10th grade. So it gives them a head start to thinking and to prepare for what they need to do grade-wise, what they need to do academically in order to get into the college of their choice, and to best prepare for the job or the career that they want to enter into for the rest of their lives.
School bus drivers recently put their skills to the test during the district's annual bus rodeo. Here's the story.
Bus drivers from around the district spent their Saturday morning at Lake Taylor High School competing against one another at the annual bus rodeo. The rodeo, which is made up of 9 different challenges, tests drivers' ability to parallel park, stop at railroad crossings, and how well they maneuver through very specific obstacles. Even though it was cold and rainy, the competitors and volunteers still managed to have a good time.
Well, it's a good morale builder, first of all. You know, a little competition so the drivers can get out there and test their skills amongst each other. Little fun and games, and then of course our local winner here will go on and represent Norfolk at the state level at their competition, which will be in June.
It helps them not only for practice for them, but it's really, really good for them to understand all the things about the bus. It helps them to do maneuvers that they might not get a chance to do, that they haven't done in a good while, you know, and a person of my age, it's really good to get out and practice those maneuvers. And backing is a key thing, but learning to practice your student pickup to keep all students safe, that's a really key factor in this event.
The scores were recorded at each station and then tallied at the end to determine the winner. Despite the course itself being pretty tough, these bus drivers enjoyed showing off the skills they use to help keep children safe every day.
I like competing, stuff like this. I've been a winner since I started, so I mean, either won first or second place each time. So I mean, it's like I tell everybody, you get out there, you just do what you normally do every day. It's not no big deal. You just drive the bus and do what you do every day.
I have fun doing it. I like to put myself to a challenge, you know, and this did it, you know. This is challenging. I like I said, hone my skills, make sure that I'm the best I can do what I do, and just have fun.
Congratulations to bus rodeo winners Stephen Kilby, who came in first place, Pamela Heberlin, who came in second, and Archie Giddens, who came in third place. Third graders from around the district were honored during the Read with MEAC reception aboard the Spirit of Norfolk. Students who logged in the most qualifying points on Achieve 3000 were recognized, along with the top 3 schools, which received cash awards. Willoughby Elementary earned the top prize, followed by Lindenwood Elementary and Suburban Park Elementary in third place. During the contest, students logged into Achieve 3000 over 85,000 times and read over 60,000 nonfiction books. Congratulations to the winners. Recently, students from Richard Bolin Elementary got a taste of Monarch Pride with their 3rd annual ODU Day at Richard Bolin. ODU athletes, students, and alumni answered questions about their college experiences and even participated in relay races. The day ended with a pep rally that included a visit from ODU mascot Big Blue.
Start off with a lot of coloring and arts and crafts for the younger students. For the older students, we do what we call Ask the Athlete and Ask the Greeks, where students can ask our Greek students and our athletes just anything that they want to know about their life as a student at ODU. We also do relay races with the older students, as well as a pep rally with all the students later. The overall goal is just to create that connection with the college and our younger counterparts. But at the end of the day, it's really about having a good time and talking to students older than you and just getting that feedback.
Guests from Norfolk's sister city of Toulon, France, also visited students at Richard Bolin and taught them all about life in France. They spent an afternoon introducing students to the French language, cuisine, and culture in order to broaden their horizons globally.
This is all about helping our young people become competitive in this global environment. We want them to learn everything they can about the world around them to compete in the modern day. And we will be having future delegations from all of our sister cities. And we have 10 sister cities around the world, and they will all come to the schools and they will all introduce their countries to these young students.
If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at NPS News at npsk12.com. More NPS Now after this. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today we have Bobby Pannenbacker, Athletic Director from Lake Taylor High School. Welcome.
Morning, Steve.
Bobby, we're going to have a discussion on the Virginia High School League and the classifications and the changes that are going to occur for the next school year. But let's start off with going backwards a little bit. And where were we 3 years ago? What was the state made up like?
Well, the state was made up, we had 3 classifications, single A, double A, and triple A, and all of the schools in the Eastern District and Norfolk Public Schools were in the triple A. And we pretty much just had the 4 regions, the Eastern region, which we were a part of, the Central region, which is in and around Richmond, the Northern region, which is up around Alexandria and Fairfax, and then the Northwest that stemmed all the way down to Roanoke and Lynchburg and parts of Charlottesville.
Okay. All right. It sounds like it was nice and organized, and we all kind of enjoyed that. But then the Virginia High School League went into a change to 6 classifications. So, and that's what we want to talk about today. 2 years ago, we instituted that 6th classification, and Granby was a 6A, Maury, Norview were 5A, Booker T and Lake Taylor were 4As. So talk a little bit about the classifications and how they're set up now.
Well, they've already changed since the last 2 years. The 6th classification was an attempt to divide all the schools in the state evenly based upon student population. And therefore, that was supposed to give each school a chance to compete against like-sized schools. The change from the last year's classifications, which separated us into 3 groups, Granby in 6, Maury and Norview in 5, and Lake Taylor and Booker T in 4, now have Booker T moving down to 3, okay, and everybody else is still in their same classifications, Granby in 6 and Maury and Norview.
All right, so with that, each of the schools are in classifications, but they're also put into conferences. and that's a little bit different than the district. So Granby now was in Conference 1, and they're moving to Conference 2. And then Maury and Norview are staying in Conference 9. Lake Taylor's staying in 17, and then Booker T's going to 27. So a lot of changes are happening. But with Granby, what's that going to look like for Granby?
Well, Granby now will be put in a conference with Chesapeake schools, 3 Chesapeake schools, and 1 school from the peninsula, Woodside. So their formats changed. They were just recently with all the beach schools, and now they've been moved out of that beach school group into this new group, which has the peninsula and southeastern schools along with them. Booker T now has moved into a group that has a very, very diverse group of schools from far parts of the area, not close to the Norfolk area.
Okay, so Maury and Norview are staying in their same conference, but adding some Chesapeake schools, so that conference is increasing. And then Lake Taylor, you're staying in Conference 17, but you're getting some new schools.
Right. I'll still be with the schools that make up part of the Eastern District in last year's Conference 17, which are Churchland, Wilson, and Deep Creek. We are now going to add Great Bridge and Kings Fork into Conference 17. So there'll be 6 schools in my conference again, but I'll be the lone Norfolk school.
Okay. All right. So when we got involved in this about 2.5 years ago, we talked about how can we make this the best for the student athletes, and scheduling was one of those areas that our area, our former region, really took on and kind of went away from the idea that the Virginia High School League had, that this was only a playoff-driven system. We created conference scheduling. Talk a little bit about conference scheduling and how that has gone, and maybe how it's benefited Lake Taylor and other schools.
Well, the conference schedule scheme basically was a hybrid scheme. We took what was our regular Eastern District schedule, and then we added the schools that were not in our district to our schedule, and worked out a series of dates and times that were very, very adequate for all the schools, because with the Chesapeake schools getting out much later as far as dismissal time, game times couldn't start as early as we were used to. So that wasn't a bad transition. Now the new conference schedule, we're still going to try to do a conference schedule along with our district schedule, but the movement into the playoffs, which was the whole format for this thing, was playoff driven, is now going to be based on your PowerPoints for the teams that you schedule outside your regular district schedule.
Right, and the conference scheduling, we got used to that for 2 years. It really worked because we were able to play and determine on the field who our best teams were to advance. Now, this is a little bit different. So for Granby, they're going to go into a conference where they don't do that conference scheduling. They're going to have to be kind of an independent teams to get games, so that's a challenge for them. Booker T is going to fall in that same realm, because Conference 27 is not going to do conference scheduling.
That's correct.
And so, again, they're going to have to get those outside games once they play their hybrid district schedule. So that's going to be a challenge for themselves. Now, there have been some good things about this, and Lake Taylor has benefited from some of these positive venues, ideas where they've been able to go. So talk a little bit about what has Lake Taylor benefited from this conference scheduling and the new classifications.
Well, we were on the forefront of moving outside the regional schedule way back 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago in playing teams not from this region, especially in football, and then traveling with our basketball teams, because those 2 sports seem to be the ones that we've had our most success with, winning state championships in both the old AAA and now in the new 4A concept. The thing that was good about that was it gave us a chance to be exposed to some different school systems and work out some relationships with some new people from the Richmond area and the old peninsula area that we were not normally going against. So that's been a positive. The tough part about this with the games and the time that we have to travel to these other schools has taken us out of class a good amount of time for those student athletes that participate on those events. and the added expense of the travel to that school, the meals and the transportation, especially the charter bus situation and the overnight situation to play off in these things.
So with that seems to is affecting the budget. So
you know, you can't play the game unless you're there, so you have to get there.
Right.
So you have to provide transportation, and then you have to provide meals because these kids are there, leave early in the morning. They spend the entire day. They spend the night over. So it has become an expense that has taxed the budget a little bit. Fortunately, we've been blessed with some support from central administration in your office to help us out, and things have gone well. But it's an added expense that I don't think anybody really was looking forward to, especially in this time of financial situations being so strapped.
So you say that. So for the parent or the average fan, how has that affected them?
Well, it's put a burden on the parents, number one, and they have to travel to the games, and for many, especially during the week, it's hard for parents to want to leave their job at a reasonable time to travel all the way up through the tunnel to the Peninsula games or way down to Suffolk for those games down there in Suffolk, which is a ways when we used to play reasonably close and have many of the events right here in Norfolk or the Virginia Beach area within about a 15 to 20-minute drive from any of the schools here in Norfolk.
Coach, I'm going to go back to one thing, and that was football. We start off, obviously, that's our first big sport in the fall. So talk about football scheduling now.
Well, we used to have a regional football schedule. You played everybody in your district, and then the regions or the cities involved, the Peninsula, which is Newport News and Hampton, Chesapeake and Suffolk, which is the Southeastern District. We used to provide a schedule for everybody in those three school systems, in those three districts, the Eastern District. The Beach always had a locked out schedule with 11 high schools, so everybody in their district played everyone else, which gave you the 10 games. We provided the Eastern Region schedule based upon teams that wanted to play each other, and you would put in your first pick, your second pick, and then we provided the schedule here in the region, so all the schools stayed within the old Eastern Region.
And now we're going outside of that.
Yes,
That's
we are.
the challenge.
We are traveling. We are going to go to Charlottesville this year. Lake Taylor is, and we are also going to go to Elizabeth City for games this year because there are no set schedules anymore. You have to try to find teams of your like size that are willing to play you.
Right.
Because the football determination at the end of the year is based upon PowerPoints, and teams that are in different classifications get different PowerPoints based upon wins and losses. So the coaches are very heady with this, and they take a good long look at who possible opponents might be.
Okay. Well, Bobby, again, a lot of good information. There's going to be some more changes down the road before we actually get to start next year. So we'll keep everybody abreast of those changes. But again, we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank all the athletic directors, what they do, because scheduling is a big challenge now. Just the day-to-day job has created a lot of different challenges. But you guys, again, do a great job. So we want to thank you for that. And then one other thing, we want to just recognize Becky Moore, who just had an addition to the athletic family, and that's Landon Moore. So congratulations, Becky.
Yeah, Becky, way to go.
All right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With me now today is Carolyn Cage, Senior Coordinator for Special Education Services and Learning Support, and Julie Mansfield, Volunteer Resource Manager for Nauticus. Welcome, ladies, to NPS Now.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You guys have a great program that I'm excited for us to talk about today called Start on Success. But first, Carolyn, I want to talk to you about special education. How long have you been with us and in that department?
Oh, wow. I have been in special education services for 34 years.
34 years. What were your positions?
I started out as a teacher for students with moderate intellectual disabilities in the classroom, transitioned, and no pun intended, to being transition specialist, and then senior coordinator.
In those roles, how have you evolved as an educator, you feel?
I've gotten a bigger picture because I started out working with students. I felt like it was my calling to work with students with disabilities, to help them to achieve, to overcome their disabilities. You know, my inspiration is Ann Sullivan, Macy, Helen Keller's teacher. But anyway, but I also kind of got to see a bigger picture, that there was more than what was going on in the classroom. It's more than just teaching them to read and to write. It's teaching them to be successful for life. And this position gave me the opportunity to do that as I evolved to transition specialist, and not just working with one group, but working with children with all types of disabilities.
And with those knowledge and skills, you've come up with a great program for our students called Start on Success.
Exactly.
Tell us about that.
Start on Success was a initiative started by the Department of Education, and they sent out a call for proposals a little over a year ago. Norfolk applied and competed with other school divisions, and according to them, we had a stellar application. And they approved us. It's an employer-based program, and it provides opportunities for students who might not have the opportunity to participate in career development or career readiness activities, because the focus is on working on a standard diploma.
And so what type of students are we placing in this program?
Well, we're placing what we refer to as higher incidence students, students with learning disabilities, some behavioral challenges, other health impairments, and but the difference between that and some of our other programs is that these students are working on standard diplomas. They are students who could potentially go on to college or technical school. They will be leaving, and once they finish with public school, they're done. They don't get to continue through age 22 because they will be earning that standard diploma.
So with the Start on Success program, it brings people like Julie Mansfield into play to participate. How did Nauticus get involved with Start on Success?
Well, we were approached, and we thought the opportunity was wonderful for our organization. Our directive is to reach out to the community. Being in volunteer resources, that's part of my objective, is to make sure that the community understands what it is that we do at Nauticus. Very high, or at the very top of our list, is education as a priority, and so we thought it was a perfect match and partnership for Nauticus and Norfolk Public Schools.
Describe the students or interns, as we were talking earlier, their experience working at Nauticus with you.
Well, it's been fabulous. As someone with a disability myself, I think that these students, now interns, have had the opportunity to come in and leave behind the classroom and work in a professional environment, which gives them confidence. It's amazing how their aptitude shows when they're working alongside professionals in our organization.
So how long have our students been interning at Nauticus?
Well, we are a little more than halfway through. I think we're into the 7-week period, and you would think that they've been with us for longer than that.
Oh, wow. So you are trying to place students at Nauticus. What do you expect for them to receive from participating in Nauticus and working with them?
I expect them to receive work skills, developing their technical skills, developing positive work habits, learning how to interact with others in the workforce. Because interestingly enough, these are not students with any kind of cognitive disabilities, but they may still have some challenges to entering in the workforce, to going to work on time, or getting along with coworkers, or being able, they can do the technical skills, but some of those soft skills still need to be addressed, and they might need a little extra support in doing that. So I expect them to be able to, as Julie said, be in a professional environment and learn how to function and operate as any other employee would, and meet employer expectations.
So how can a student get involved in this program?
Well, we actually are having a student and parent information night, which happens to be tonight, May 4th, but at the Parent Access Center. But generally, we're getting the information out to the schools. We have 2 fabulous job coaches who have gone out to schools to do some presentations. We've sent out literature and information on the program. We have a link to a PowerPoint that also provides information. And there is an application process because we are only able to take 8 students per cohort.
technical cohort, and the cohort is from the beginning, like September to?
September through June, or actually until August, until the actual graduation period ends for a particular year.
And Julie, for Nauticus, what other activities or programs do you have for youth with disabilities or without disabilities?
Well, we don't really focus on programs for disabilities. We welcome everyone. So as volunteer programs go, we have youth 14 to 17, and they can work in a variety of positions, as I said earlier, alongside professional museum staff members, anywhere from working directly with the public in our admissions department up to our third floor in our education department, working along horseshoe crabs and sharks. We did have one of the SOS interns for the first time go out to the battleship, and so they're working what we call frontline. So you're working directly with the guests. Everything at Nauticus, you're really working with the guests, and there are a few behind-the-scene positions as well: exhibits, curatorial, and administrative.
What advice, Julie, would you give any other businesses or organizations that would be interested in participating in the Start on Success program?
Well, be prepared for success. The partnership has been fabulous. I really can't say enough. We've worked with organizations in the past who haven't been as well organized as this program, and we've been very pleased. So be prepared to place the students, be prepared to challenge, I should say the interns, as strange as it sounds, be prepared to have a little bit of a burden on your organization, but in a positive way. What we've learned by the interns being with us has at the beginning been a burden because we've had to put more energy into our normal day. But at the end of the day, it's been a fabulous partnership, a wonderful growth opportunity. That's one of our core values at Nauticus, is to grow professionally. I've grown professionally working alongside these interns. I've been amazed at their aptitude and their skills, and it's been just eye-opening experience for me.
So, Carolyn, how can a business or organization get involved with Start on Success?
This is a matter of getting in touch with me, or even our employment specialist, is Chris Mitchell, because we're always looking for other businesses to partner with for this program and for many of our other types of programs.
Share with us real quick your contact information, your email and phone number.
Okay, I'm Carolyn Cage, and I'm at, my email is cdcage@nps.k12.va.us, and I can be reached at 628-3950. That's the number to Learning Support Special Education Services.
This has been wonderful, and I'm glad that we were able to highlight this Start on Success program, and I look forward to having you back on the show again, Carolyn, to talk about the other great programs that Special Education Services has for our students. And thank you, Julie, for joining us here today as well.
My pleasure.
Look forward to it. Thank you.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.